Okay, can everybody? So just to let you know, I run a meditation group on Zoom. He's off of his university.
That? I don't want to start live streaming actually. I like
There's peace in the hall. There's peace. There's peace. There's peace in the nation. There's peace in the nation. There's peace in the world.
Very good, Bridget.
Great job.
Yeah. Last minute.
Good.
Because Tony picks that up. It's about over in Argentina.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. My few words will be words of gratitude. I'm Susan Bachner, President of Amber Valley Interfaith Council, for the organization bringing everything together today. I want to thank our community for your generous contributions and for the loyalty and hard work of our volunteers that allow us to serve the community, our community pantry, our Thanksgiving basket project. We're partners in funding freewheeling, Joys of the Season, emergency grants. There's so much we do. It's because of this wonderful. And I want to especially thank the Warren Church for hosting us, Reverend Aaron for organizing today, bringing us together. And Reverend Mark Wilson for taking care of the audio, which allows our people out in Zoom land to be with us. So if you look at your program, you're going to see a prayer that's in a bunch of boxes. And this has the Hebrew on the left, the English translation, and the transliteration, which means if you just read what you see in English, you're speaking Hebrew without having to learn Hebrew. And this happens to be my personal favorite prayer because it expresses gratitude that we have been kept alive and sustained for this wonderful occasion. Today is the occasion of being together as community. So if you want to read the Hebrew, you actually read from right to left, and there may be people here who haven't seen. I'm going to chant the prayer once, and then I'm going to ask you to join me if you like. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Shehepianu, the Kiyamanu, the Hikianu, Mahasaman, Hazer. Blessed are you, Lord, our God, King of the universe, who has granted us life, sustained us, and allowed us to arrive at this time. So let's do it really slowly and join me if you want. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shehepianu, the Kiyamanu, the Hikianu, Mahasaman, Hazer. Together, amen.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
The first reading this morning is taken from Shema, which we know in English as Exodus chapter 23, verses 10 through 11. And 6 years you shall sow your land, and you shall gather in its produce. And the 7th year you shall release it from work and abandon it. And the poor among your people will eat. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.
Courage, my soul, and let us journey on. Though the night is dark, and I am far from home, thanks be to God, the morning light. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. Courage, my soul, and let us journey on. Though the night is dark, and I am far from home, thanks be to God, the morning light of me. The storm is passing over. 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 The stone, the stone, the stone, the stone is passing on. The stone, the stone is passing over. The stone is passing over. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. Hallelujah. 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 The storm.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sapira Stacy Ashnello, and I'm from Living Tree Alliance, Moortown, where we are weaving together a co-housing village, working lands homestead, and educational programs connected to here. I'm really grateful to be here with you today to share with you about the sabbatical year, the Shemitah year. I want to thank the Interfaith Council for inviting me to share about this, and the Lord Church for hosting us, and Reverend Erin for putting this all together, organizing it in a beautiful way. Thank you to Susan Wagner for being my partner and spreading these messages about the sabbatical year. Today I'm going to share with you about the sabbatical year, Shemitah, what it means and ways it can support us in our lives and among some of the collective issues we are dealing with in our world. Let me start by explaining what Shemitah means. Shemitah is a Hebrew word that literally means to let go or to release. And it's considered a sabbatical year that comes every 7 years. Just like in the Judeo-Christian culture, we have a 7-day cycle that includes a day of rest on the 7th day. We have a 7-year cycle with a whole year of a Shabbat for the land. According to Jewish tradition, the Shemitah year started this past September with Jewish New Year. And during the 7th year, we are advised to let the land play fallow, forgive all debts, and make a host of other agricultural and economic adjustments to ensure the maintenance of an equitable, just, and healthy society. Hopefully, by heeding some of the teachings, we can create a more vibrant, inclusive, connected, and innovative local community, and personally find ways to embrace rest as a revolution. So, where does Shemitah come from? It's mentioned multiple places in the Bible, including the book of Exodus, which we just heard the reading from there, the book of Leviticus, and the book of Deuteronomy. I'm going to read for you, and it's in your booklet, from the book of Leviticus, in Hebrew known as Vayikra, and chapter 25. It says, "And God spoke to Moses on Mount Sinai, saying, 'Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, when you come to the land which I am giving you, then the land shall rest, a Sabbath for the Lord. For 6 years you shall sow your fields, and for 6 years you shall prune your vines, and you shall gather in their produce. And in the 7th year there shall be a Sabbath of solemn rest for the land, a Sabbath for the Lord. You shall not sow your fields, and you shall not prune your vineyard, and the Sabbath produce of the land shall be yours to eat. For you and your manservant and your maidservant, and for your settler who resides with you. So here in this reading, and in the reading you just heard, we hear the words rest and release. We want to let the land rest and release the ways you manage the land for 6 years. And in the reading in Deuteronomy that we'll hear in just a little bit, we'll hear about the importance of releasing debts during this time. So what is it saying? It says every 7 years we offer a Sabbath to the land. We can reap her produce, just not toil, till, or prune. It's a year-long sabbatical to those that grow food, allowing the land to regenerate with less production. Surely the earth seems to need some assistance currently in getting back to homeostasis. But of course, we all need to eat. So how can we honor this 7th year and still have enough sustenance to survive? On a practical level, we can plan ahead so that we are prepared with perennial food systems, store more dried foods, and learn more about wild foods available here in Vermont. On the cover here is a picture of a Shemitah sign that we have in Ruby Tree, where we have designated one plot that we will just let lay fallow. Planted it with cover crop before the Jewish New Year, and we're going to leave it all year and observe what happens there. So we will still grow some food, but we'll have our little sun plot for observing honoring the Shemitah. So I'm not sure I have all the answers of how we manage the Shemitah here, but on a more universal takeaway, there are 4 R's that I'm starting to teach about connected to Shemitah, and that is rest, reflection, release, and receive. These are things that we can connect to during the Shemitah year. Rest. Can we take time to rest and rejuvenate ourselves? Reflection. Can we use the time of extra rest to help us reflect on what has happened over the last 7-year cycle and what you want to create over the next 7-year cycle? And set some intentions for the 7th year of rest. And release. We are told to release the land. So after some time of reflection, consider what no longer serves us and release them. This can take some risk and letting go of relied upon ways that can be scary and take a leap of faith. The Bible gives us permission to do things differently, to set the scales to more equity and bring about change. And finally, receive. We can take the time to celebrate the abundance that resting and reflection provides and enjoy all that we are able to receive in that time. So I'd like to expand a little bit further about rest. Our culture seems to promote endless productivity, and many of us have bought into it, including myself. And it may be the capitalist system that keeps us chained to this dynamic of productivity, but I'm not here to debate about capitalism. What I do want to explore with you is how you can embrace rest so that you can feel regenerated in a way that is good for you, good for your community, and good for the earth. In March of 2020, everything came to a halt, and some say this was a forced Shemitah year. It's a sabbatical year. However, this was forced upon us, and we had not been prepared for the 6 years prior. This sudden halt led to a lot of anxiety, and many people had to work much harder to figure out how they were going to pivot and adapt to this new current paradigm. And we all know how challenging it was to navigate our children and work at the same time, and that this is not a restful break at all. I dare say we are still managing the trauma from this forced reorientation and isolation. What would it mean to take the current year as a year of true rest and rejuvenation, and to prioritize self-care? Maybe it's actually healing from the virus. So what would it mean to release certain responsibilities? What would it mean to release certain responsibilities that don't serve you or the collective anymore? What would it mean to release our addictions to our phones and replace it with something that feels more nourishing, like maybe a regular coffee date with a friend? Maybe it would mean taking more time for reflection and observation and meditation. Maybe you can release ourselves from a dreaded job and start the thing that you always dreamed of, daring not to be afraid of potential failure, but jumping towards what brings you most life. Or maybe it's taking more breaks throughout the day, or allowing more date nights with your beloved, and allowing more time to just look around and receive the joy and the beauty that is around us. The Shemitah year is yours to interpret the way that most resonates with you. I hope together we can find ways to help care for our planet and fellow humans. In this time of great change, I encourage you to take a moment of reflection and to consider the ways that you want to reorient and bring more balance into your life and into the lives of others. So if you feel comfortable, I invite you to take a moment to close your eyes and go inside and orient to your breath. If you're comfortable, you can put your hands on your abdomen, deep into your abdomen, feeling your abdomen expand, and then releasing the breath, letting go symbolically of all that doesn't serve us anymore. Let you breathe in again, filling yourself up, knowing that you are part of the breath of life. Letting go of the air that is used up, but is there to feed and nourish the trees. Breathing in again into your center. From this centered place, I invite you to drop in the question, how can I relate to this sabbatical year? What can I do or not do to allow more rest and spaciousness in my life? Is there something that I feel ready to release and let go of? Let you come back to your breath, feeling your breath, and filling yourself up with your breath, feeling the seat in which you're sitting on. And I invite you to just take 30 seconds to turn to the person next to you and share one thing that you may be considering in order to honor this sabbatical year. I'm just going to give you each 30 seconds, share it very briefly, and then allow the other person to share. So hopefully you have something that you're thinking of and naming it outside of yourself, and your voice solidifies it for you. May we all be blessed to take this time for rest and reflection and receiving. May we be inspired to release what no longer serves and bring more equity and justice so that all people can have what they need. And from this place, may we all be open to receive the light. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm reading from Deuteronomy, chapter 15, verses 1. At the end of 7 weeks, you shall celebrate the Shabbat, and this is the manner of the Shabbat. Every creditor shall admit any debt owed by his neighbors and his brother. God's Shemitah year comes around. If there be among you an evil man, one of his brothers, within any in your land, so the word of God is given, you shall not part, and you shall not shut it, but you shall surely chance is sufficient for his need that Really, it's nice to see lots of our seniors out here. I was there, a member of the Foreign Church, and the treasurer of the Mad River Valley Senior Citizens. I have been asked to speak to you about the Mad River Valley Senior Citizens. We are a nonprofit organization that's been serving the Valley here for years. It is in Waitsfield. Our mission is to provide social, educational, charitable, and nutritional services to seniors in the Valley to be welcome to everyone. To fulfill this mission, we provide several services centered on the youth program and provide a venue and a place for access to local wellness programs, and which are provided by volunteers and partners. Our meal program currently includes 2 community meals. They're served at the dining room and lunch is served on Tuesdays and breakfast is served on Mondays, to which as well. We also maintain a meal supplements program, providing around 40 home delivered nutritious lunches to homebound clients Monday through Friday and weekends as needed. Annually, we serve about 9,000 kids. We are also co-founders of the Freewheeling Project, Integrated Council, Baby Fund, Russian Bransfield is one of our partners. This month we'll be sending out visitor packs to our clients. Cover meals in an emergency situation, such as dry expense. Each pack provides 2 to 3 days worth of shelf stable meals and home delivery not paid by our own funds. Our next special event is our Thanksgiving. It's held on Wednesday before Thanksgiving. All seniors are welcome to attend. I would like to thank the community for supporting our organization, designating us as your recipient of special today.
We look forward to a day when sharing by all means scarcity for not. Morning offering will be received in the spirit of grace and gratitude. Together, let us be in the spirit of prayer. God, our Creator, present these gifts of our life, so that others and the earth rest. Amen.
I'm Melanie Kessler. I work with here at Living Tree. Thank you so much for inviting me to bless the next generation. A few intentions that I'd like to share with you to hold before we sing the blessing. And they come from multiple different traditions and also my own experience. The first one is that there is a prayer that's said every Friday night, Jewish tradition, during Sabbath blessings that are always done. So it's not service, it's not led by a rabbi or at a synagogue, but a time that we gather with friends and family to bring in the time of rest. And right between when you drink the wine and the bread, there's a time to hold your family, what I would call it. The children are blessed and the wife is blessed, however our families are being done. So this is the prayer that in my house we say during that time. So you can kind of think of that as we say. The second teaching is that when I've done Buddhist meditation retreats, this is the prayer that we're going to sing is actually from a Buddhist tradition, even though I sing it during the Sabbath blessing, is there's a teaching of love and kindness meditation. That it's important after we have our own experience of divinity that fills us up with light, that then it's our responsibility to shoot it. Right? And so when I made the choice to take this loving kindness meditation, I inserted into that time when the family is blessed. It's really this thought that as we sit in times of prayer, that we practice filling ourselves up with light, with the hope that it's not just for us, but for them. And then the third intention I want to share with you is that specifically because I was asked to bring a children's prayer, is that, all of us stand here securely in whatever generation we exist in, right? And all different generations and all different decades. But we always stand on the shoulders of those before us. And we should, I think, as spiritual human beings, commit ourselves to learning what our ancestors lift us up with. And simultaneously, we're always releasing that blessing, that knowledge and wisdom into the next generation. And so if we hold all those things simultaneously, that the light that we shine from our own sense of faith and hope is from where we came from, whatever it is, our struggles and our privileges, and that we're carrying forward future generations with everything that we can offer until, as we know, as teachers or parents, that we then have a chance to release that generation. Because really, at some point, we can't create the future anymore. It's really the job of those that we train to build the future that we all hope. So I hope that as I share this blessing, you can feel this acceptance and passing on to all those younger than you and give them this blessing. So the words are pretty simple. The first verse, and I've changed them, is may all children be well. And you can think in your head, may all those who hold the future in their liveliness, in their capacity to have that energy that you have, may they all be well so that they carry. The second verse is, and I'm going to say my own children's name, but I invite you to say they are, like, we all have people that we want to hold in the light. You can say their name. So may all children be well, may all blankety blank. Ezra and Judah are my 7 and 9 year olds, so I'll say their name. Be happy. Because we're not asking the next generation to be who we want them to be. We want them to be who they are in the best and right way they do. May they be well, may they be happy. And then the third verse is, may all beings find peace. Because at some point, we are oneness. And so can we take our loving kindness and future, put it into all things that we share. So you'll catch on the tune, it's pretty easy. I'll start the first. So once again, may all children be well, may our loved ones be happy, serene, may all beings find peace. May all children be well, may all children be well, may all children be well, may all children be well. Let's do that again. May all children be well, may all children be well, may all children be well, may all children be well. May our children be happy. 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 May all beings find peace. 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 Amen.
Poet, Bill Berry, farmer, and also someone who intentionally keeps Sabbath. A whole book of poems titled This Day, Sabbath Poems. So I thought I'd call us into a spirit of prayer by reading one of Wendell Berry's Sabbath poems. This one's from 1979. It is 7/6/1979 by Wendell. This includes, even 1979, the poet's growing awareness and acknowledgement that we are destroying this creation. Slowly by slowly, we are not treating it justly, not treating the earth justly. So, some awareness even in 1979. Just wanted to lift that up as well. That beautiful idea that land rests, letting themselves rest, Sabbath. That's also there are carbon Sabbaths. I have friends, for instance, who go on carbon fasts during Lent to give up carbon. Yeah, this poem, the idea she taught was a challenge to us. What it is to us, how are we in this world without our cars? Wendell Berry. What stood will stand, though all be fallen. The good return that time has stolen. Though creatures groan in misery, their flesh prefigures liberty, to end travail and bring to birth a new perfection. At word of that enlivening, let the trees of the woods all sing, and every field rejoice. Let praise rise up out of the ground like what stood whole in every piecemeal thing that stood, will stand though all fall. Field and woods and all rejoin the front Sabbath's hymn. Together let us be in spirit of prayer. God, we name you with many names, or with none. God of the prophets, your wise ones warned us that through our iniquities the land itself, that what we do to each other, we do to your creation, we do to you. We love you as much as what and who we love you. So we hold in our prayers those with whom we need to name, including the youngest. God of healing, may we be a part of the healing of the nations, healing of the earth. We thank you for the many ways the earth heals us, from the food and medicine it brings us to the peace we find in wild lands. So we hold in our prayers those who need healing of body, spirit, and mind. God of creation, one who calls us to be what is. Rejoice in your universe. Give you thanks for the beauty, majesty, the power, the passion, mystery, splendors. So we hold in our prayers with gratitude all of those people and places, plants, creatures, stars and seas who make our hearts sing. Hear our prayers of gratitude. I name you with many names, with none. Take a few moments of silence, moments of Sabbath rest, to listen for your still small voice speaking to us. We open our hearts and our hands to the wholeness you seek from us. We may repent of our destruction of the earth. We might love each other. Let that mountains and hills before us burst into song, and the trees laugh. Instead of death, through life, memorial for you, everlasting Son. Shalom. Pray our prayers in your name.
Well, we have come to the time of our announcements. So I asked if there's any announcements from individual faith communities, from individuals, from anyone in the Interfaith Council, what is happening in the community? You can just throw your hand up. Yes, yes. We have a very small presence. And then have other announcements. Saturday, December 4th, the Alliance is hosting a Hanukkah bomb. December 4th. I'll have to be on the look for that. Anyone else? Becky? The Board of Deacons last week for the Waitsfield United Church of Christ decided to soon a COVID safe coffee hour on Sunday after. So if you come forward at 10 o'clock in Waitsfield, so that upstairs afterwards for a little bit of it's great news. Okay, Diane.
Everyone is invited to refreshments at the playground. So play in the playground. Right after the service. Sorry that. Please join us.
We have been blessed with gorgeous weather since June. We've been having all of our fellowship outside. No, it's going to stop soon. Wanted to do it, we don't, you.
The Waitsfield United Church of Christ, the Village Meeting House,
is happy to announce Christmas Eve services in our sanctuary. We have a family service 5 o'clock, then sort of traditional candlelight service at 8, then a communion service at 11, Christmas
You really reminded us it's coming. Grab you the mic, even though I know you don't need it.
I don't know if this is the right time for celebrations, but I have a celebration. It was 26 years ago today. My heart stopped beating for 46 seconds. And when they zapped me, that's when I slowly started to wake up from my deep 74-day long. And I didn't get paroled till 4 days before my 27th birthday, January 27th. And I was blind in one eye and chair. And now I have a beautiful family and excellent home.
Thank you for celebrating with us. It's wonderful. Yeah, Susan. So the Interfaith Council is still collecting for our turkey basket project. And we need all our donations in by the Saturday before Thanksgiving. And we appreciate everyone's generosity, food donations, cash donations. We'll go shopping for things that aren't donated. So thank you. Other final announcements? This is great. Now, at this time, I'm going to ask everyone who's part of the Interfaith Council or has been part of the Interfaith Council during the pandemic to please come forward and to stand up here somewhere in this area. Everyone who is on the Interfaith Council currently or has been during this pandemic. There's no rush. I can feel the rest among us. Maybe also a need for a snack. Chrissy's gonna come forward, and Chrissy's also on the Interfaith Council. So I'm gonna just pass these along. I'm gonna have you take one, or maybe I shouldn't have you pass. Maybe I should just have you take. Oh, you got it? Okay. You can't make a mistake with this, I promise. So this morning, Dawn started us off with peace, and Susan joined in with gratitude. And whether it's worshiping or with prayer, I always say, if you start with gratitude and you end with gratitude, God will fill in the rest. You will be well. So friends, this is all I have. Not much of a closing word, but sincere gratitude. Because this has not been an easy year. You all stuck it through. This group is a master at Zoom, let me just tell you. They are devoted, dedicated, faithful servants, an interfaith community and council that has served the community and each other incredibly well. And so at this time, I ask that we give them a big round of applause. Grab your bulletin, and we will have Nancy and Dawn lead us in our final song. You shall overcome.
In my heart, I believe someday we'll be free. Someday we'll all be free. I do not know how long it will be. Someday we'll all be free. Someday we'll all be free. Someday we'll be free. Hold on, my friend, to your hand. Someday we'll all be free. Someday we'll all be free. Into love, find our way. Someday we'll all be free. Someday we'll all be free. Someday we'll all be free. Shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Someday. Someday we'll all be free. Someday we'll all be free. I may not be how it will be. Someday we'll all be free. Someday we'll all be free. Someday we'll be free.
Right now, we're going to have a blessing, another loving kindness blessing. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe. May all beings awaken to the light of their true nature. May all beings be free.